Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. I know it's been a long time since I've recorded a voiceover, so for that I apologize. First of all, I had to leave, and then I came back, and some of you might know that there were multiple heat waves in France. So that was something. It's still a little hot, but it's been better lately. But it's been a while since I've been able to just sit down and do a voiceover for a video, also at work. So it's been a little complicated, but I think I'm back for now. And also I'm back building in Paralives. I think I have not built in this game since the last time I released a video for it, which was at the start of the summer or something, just before I left. And so I had to remind myself how to build in the game because I kind of forgot. But I think I did an okay job. It's always difficult when I've mainly been building in The Sims 4 for so long that, getting used to different controls is always like a struggle a bit, but it was all right. I remembered most of it. It took me like a second to just get back into it. But yeah, so I love Paralives. I will not again talk about the gameplay because I still have not played the game yet. I've just built. But sadly, it's still early access, and I know that. And some of the bugs that were there before I left are still here, especially if you build with the advanced tools. The problem is that when you place a wall or remove a wall or do something, you take the risk of some of the things you placed with the advanced tool to just break. And it happened to me multiple times. You can see sometimes like things floating, and it's just I cut off most of the parts that were me redoing things. But at some point, you will see me place some flowers on the roof of the house. I gave up doing that because I spent like 25 minutes doing it, and then everything broke. I redid it thinking, oh, it's gonna be okay now, I'm not placing a wall, and then it broke again. So I waited until my build was complete to finish the roof and certain other things that I wanted to do with the advanced tool. But anyway, enough about the bugs in the game, let's talk about the build. This is a little witchy cottage. It's just a little house nested in some woods. There's a road in the game, but in my mind, the house would be surrounded like in a circle of greenery and surrounded by trees. The idea was that it was like a secret house. You would have to walk deep into the woods to actually see it, and you would have to take a real good look around you and take the time to actually see the house because it's like magical. And the witch that lived there probably cast a spell to make it less noticeable or something. Since the house is magical and whimsical, it's supposed to also be connected to the person that lives there and nature, the nature surrounding it. And in my mind, the witch is really, really old, and so is the house. They're basically one same entity. If that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but I've talked about how I basically tell myself stories to build, and this is basically what I do. I don't know. I don't think that's normal. I don't know if it is, but it's the way that I come up with ideas for builds. And if I get stuck while I build, I will tell myself, well, why are you doing that? Why do you need this or that in the build? And does it make sense for your character? And try to give my character a little bit more depth. And yeah, so my witch is old, and so is her house. So the house had to look rustic and dated, and like it went through a lot. So I gave it little bits here and there to make it look older and dirtier, I guess, and a little bit broken. But it still had to look cute, So the basic build is really simple. I didn't want to do something too complicated because in my mind, the witch that lives there is a lonely, lonely witch. She probably built her house through magic or herself with her hands. She's been alone for a long time. She probably has like 5 or 6 cats, but she's alone. And she doesn't mind it too much, but I wanted you to feel a little bit nostalgic, I guess, when you look at the house, when you are inside. I think I wanted you to feel that the house and the witch were connected, and in her solitude, she made this safe space that she inhabits. I don't know. I always feel like, material things on their own, they don't mean anything. They're just things. But of course, they can mean something really important to you because of a memory, because of something that happened to you, because someone gave it to you. And I feel like it's the same with places we live in. They mean a lot to us, especially a childhood home, for example. Even if you don't have access to that place anymore, it still means a lot to you. It still has emotion connected to it. And I wanted you to feel, and it might sound a little bit crazy, but like you could feel the nostalgia and the loneliness of the witch living there and the emotions she attaches to that house, which is basically her or an extension of her. And in my mind, she is connected to nature. So the house is also connected to nature. So I tried really hard to make it look, I don't know, just to make it look like it's part of the forest, like an integral part of it. So you will see me place a lot of trees and greeneries and make it all make sense. And you have to imagine that there's no road. There's a path to it, but the house is deep in the woods. And I also placed one big single tree that is really different from the other trees because, again, in my mind, that tree is where the witch gets her powers. So it was a really important visual detail in my brain to make the tree distinguishable. Is that a word? I don't fucking know. But yeah. I was really trying not to say bad words because I've noticed I always do when I edit my Veggie Legacy, but I failed once again. So I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this. I'm doing my best. All that to say, it's a cute little house with a story attached to it. And my story is one of a very lonely old witch that takes her power in nature. And her house is little, but her heart is big. She just doesn't have anyone to share it with. So you will see me spend a lot of time making sure some little details are there. Spent a lot of time doing landscaping and the interior because I felt like she would have certain taste, but also since she's living off the land, it would make sense for her to have everything she needs to survive in those woods. Even if she's a magical being, she still needs to feed herself, feed her cats, and she takes care of the nature around her. That was also the idea. You could basically say she's the heart of the forest, and that her house is just, an extension of who she is, which could be true for a lot of us, not just, it doesn't have to be a house, but the place where you feel safe. It can be a room. You put a lot of things in it to make it feel like it's safe and it's part of, it's a representation of who you are. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but it makes sense to me. It made sense to me while I was building. But yeah, so the house is magical, hidden, and a little bit nostalgic. That was the idea I had when I built it. I will now let you enjoy the rest of the speed build without me talking, because honestly, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I thought I would give you like a little background for the house, but other than that, you don't need me to explain why I'm placing a door or a window. I feel like you will be okay. Enjoy the rest of the build, the music. Take a little bit of time to think about my lonely witch. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.